1,000. Today it was 40,000. So you have gone up by 10,000.
Wow.
And a big difference was how attractive they found you. Your average score yesterday was in fact 3.4. Today you have gone up to 5.8.
Yay. Well done.
A simple insight into female psychology has made all the difference. Now it's Beth's turn to learn how to manipulate male perceptions.
Beth, hello. My name's Adrian Furnham. I'm a psychologist. Hello. This is Gok. He's a fashion stylist. Have a seat, please. One of my interests is in the science of female attractiveness, and it's something that a lot of male psychologists are interested in. And what we're going to do today is to try and understand how the science, as it's been done, informs us about how you can dress differently to make yourself more attractive to men.
The scientists have taken Beth's vital statistics, but which aspects of the female figure are actually the most important to men?
What should we work on first?
Well, it's breasts, I think.
On the breasts. Okay, fine.
Is it the breasts?
You like the look of those?
Yeah, definitely.
The legs?
That's right. That's yeah.
Or the bottom?
Yeah, okay, I like that.
To find out, the dating agency has conducted a groundbreaking new study into what men find physically attractive. This software allows the men to manipulate female bodies in any way they like.
We can increase those to a sort of a size you'd be happier with.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Full cut.
Yeah.
Right, you're happy with that?
Yep.
With dials to control independently every single body part, each man can create his ideal woman.
No. You like a bit of weight on there. Now, do you like a woman with quite a big bottom? I mean, we can give her the J-Lo bottom.
Let's try that. Oh no. Oh my goodness.
I can make...
No.
No, you don't like that. Somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Okay, a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's your ideal woman there, James.
Okay.
This is the first research of its kind, and it's about to provide a unique insight into what men really want.
I'm in love with that. That's perfect.
Well, let's look at the studies. I haven't seen this. It'll be of interest to me as well.
Okay.
Let's have a look at them. Right,
okay.
Look at the difference between those last two. The amazing difference in the breast size and the waist. See how the stomach is changing and the breasts are changing.
Wow.
Gosh.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Yes.
That's a brilliant
That's
man.
Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's anatomically unusual.
Absolutely.
Professor Furnham now averages out the differences to create the optimally attractive woman.
Wait, with bated
It
breath
is exciting,
here.
isn't it? There she is. Now, what we see from our sample is that they like relatively large breasts. What size do you think she would be?
I don't know.
Goff, what do you
Goff would
think?
probably know.
I would say she's definitely a 32 on her back, and I think we're looking at a C to a D cup.
And what we know is that the average woman, I think, in this country is a 36B.
But what's most striking is the hourglass figure, the equivalent of 36-inch hips and a 23-inch waist.
Essentially, hip-to-waist ratio is one of the best ways of seeing whether a woman is fertile. It is easier to make babies with somebody with a lower hip-to-waist ratio, and men appear to know this. They appear to find fertile women attractive.
Men like curvy women. I mean, that's what it's showing there for me.
So how does Beth measure up? And what can the fashion stylist do to help her? To find out, Professor Furnham morphs the ideal woman to Beth's measurements.
What you can see quite clearly there is changes in the bust, but very little change in the waist-to-hip ratio, which is not that different from yours. And that's good news.
Oh, yeah.
Using these insights, Gok dresses Beth to manipulate subtly the perception of her figure.
Okay, right then, boys.
Okay.
Ready?
We are.
Okay. Hey, Michael, good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Right, okay, Beth, do you want to come on out, my darling? Here we are. Right then. What this does, optically, when you look at the dress, is this. A simple necklace. It's got quite a lot going on just there. What we do is when we look at Beth, we gain eye contact, then that's just below. So the first thing we want to look at is her chest area.
The belt is meant to accentuate the waist-to-hip ratio?
Yes. If we didn't have this belt area here, which brought in the waist. I'm going to let go, and you should just see dramatically what happens. So the one thing that the guys wanted when we saw the reports was that small waist gone. So simply by just putting on just a stretch of material, it's amazing, isn't it?
That looks to me as if you got very much nearer to the perfect ideal, which is, of course, so much more attractive.
The makeovers appear to have worked. Meanwhile, a vast amount of data has been processed.
349, okay.
And the scientists are preparing for the next phase of the experiment, to predict mutual attraction.
We're looking at a number of variables and the way that they combine. There is physical attractiveness, there is similarity to oneself, and the CQ that covers a vast array of personality, social attitudes, and personal preferences.
What type of relationship would you prefer?
CQ stands for compatibility quotient. The test has been developed using happily married couples and predicts how well a couple are likely to get on in the long term.
Rather ambitious task we have here, but we would suppose that if a person showed compatibility in all of these areas, then the future would be quite rosy.
The predictions will be tested at a speed date. The scientists have selected 20 men to meet 20 women at an event which will generate 400 encounters. None of these people has any idea who the scientists have matched them with, but they have very clear ideas about what they want.
The woman that I'm looking for is someone who likes to do the household chores, cooking, cleaning, whatever.
Rich, so she can support my expensive lifestyle.
Oh, and she must be interested in sex. Well, she must like sex.
When I was, I'm looking for somebody who's not necessarily handsome, but is more striking looking. They don't necessarily have to be mega loaded. I'm not worried about that. I'm not materialistic, although obviously I want them to have a decent lifestyle. I think somebody like Richard Branson, he has all those qualities.
As the only woman to have received scientific beauty advice, Beth is in a bullish mood.
Looking as hot as I do, who knows what could happen? There might be a marriage proposal by the end, you don't know.
But will the makeover give her an edge on the competition?
Cheers! Exciting. Looking forward to it? A date. Yeah. Me too. I'm going to bag a man tonight.
Peter is feeling altogether more apprehensive.
I saw some of the other guys for the speed dating event when they turned up at the measuring day. They all looked younger than me. They all looked much better looking than me and much smoother. So I think I've got absolutely no chance today. I think I'm competing with some quality opposition, but we'll see.
Patrick, nice to meet you.
The competition will be even stiffer than he thinks. Among the bachelors are 3 men who specialise in the art of picking up women. They've formed a society to pass on this know-how to other men.
Never underestimate the power of the ugly girl that is next to her. Never! What you get.
Emir is a former city broker.
That's why we have wingmen, you can have the wing commander that is going for the main target, then you have the wingman that is going for whatever, just taking care of everybody else. Then you have the kamikaze fighter that is going for the married girl, the ugly guy, or the boyfriend or something, It's just going to crash and burn, he knows that. You can alternate these kind of things,
These men have been entered into the experiment as a wild card. Will their techniques give them any advantage? As in a conventional speed date, the men and women meet each other for 3 minutes.
Your first 30 seconds starts now.
But there is a twist to the proceedings. Each table has been fitted with a gadget which enables the participants to register their positive or negative feelings by turning a dial. Before the date begins, the men and women have been instructed to sit in silence and rate each other from 0 to 100. Carl Grammer thinks that facial similarity will be decisive.
People are attracted to other people who look like themselves.
Okay, that's it.
If you have a partner who is like yourself, you're probably not getting into trouble with him so often because you will have the same ideas, you share the same values, the same attitudes, and so on. And it looks like that people hope that somebody who looks like themselves also shares the same attitudes, values, and so on.
Dr. Grammer illustrates this principle with some well-known couples.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and his wife, two very square faces, almost identical, structured, high cheekbones. These two have the same chin, very round faces, with an almost identical nose. This is the same, very identical mouth. They also have a comparable nose, and the eyes are almost of the same form and color even.
The zoologist believes that there are genetic benefits to inbreeding, and that the men and women with similar faces will find each other the most attractive. Using special software, he has created a facial similarity index for everyone in the agency.
Match found. Match found. Match found.
So will Grant be attracted to Leanne?
Match found.
Gail to Simon? And what about Beth?
Match found.
It turns out that several men have similar faces to her, so Carl Grammer has joined forces with Glenn Wilson to identify her best match.
OK, Carl, shall we look at the faces that are most similar to Beth, and I will lay out the faces that have the highest CQ scores.
Dr. Wilson's compatibility test has identified the men with whom she has the best chance of success.
So is this our problem or theirs?
Beth is a property manager who likes to be in control.
Yeah, OK, well, can you arrange for that then?
OK.
Right, let's go and have a look inside. Hey?
In her previous relationships, she's usually been the dominant partner.
I'm independent and I'm a strong character, and men think that they want that, and they think that's great about me, and that's great when we're dating, you know, they think that's great, but after 3 months down the line or whatever, when it's a serious relationship, they realise that I'm not the kind of person they do want. They want someone who's going to stay at home and not have the strong opinions that they were attracted to in the first place, and that's my personal difficulty, but and I find that with all men and always have done.
But the scientists have identified 4 men who match Beth facially and psychologically.
How about that? That's a pretty good hit rate, considering we started with 50 people. As far as age and height are concerned, it's ideal if the male is about 5 inches taller than the female, which is about the average height difference, and it's also fairly ideal if he is perhaps 4 or 5 years older than she is. We see that on height, 3 of them are taller, so that this one goes out. And in terms of age, they're all actually younger. The nearest is this one. And his CQ is the highest of them all, so if the chemistry was right, they would get on extremely well together.
By now, Beth has registered first impressions of 8 men, and she's not easily impressed. At last, she meets Dave. Both of them, of course, are completely unaware of the scientist's prediction.
A lot of flirtatious signalling going on there. Well, the knob has gone up a little bit there, so she obviously likes to look at him. And what's he going to do? Yeah, it looks as though he's initially attracted to her as well.
It's a medium attraction, I think.
The same procedure has been used to identify Peter Kerr's best match.
So number 2?
That's a hit, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Beth, Peter has no idea he is facing his one scientific match.
She's a good actress. She's smiling warmly and winding him down at the same time. Let that be a lesson to all of us.
It starts now.
This result is typical of the first impressions.
She she's flatlining on him.
But there's still everything to play for as the speed date proper